So for the rationale of our event, we will have our project director from the Department of Philosophy and from the Social Development Research Center, Professor Dr. Hazel Biana.
Thank you, Cesar, for that very, very kind introduction. And okay, so country director, Miss Lotus Pastrada of the British Council Philippines, head of education, Gerald Magno of the British Council, program manager Kathy Vialoga, also of the British Council, our esteemed national and academic leaders, Dr. Jeanette Yasol Naval, head of the technical panel for philosophy of the Commission on Higher Education, Dr. Sarah Uckelman from Durham University, Dr. Victoria Harrison from the University of Macau, Distinguished Professor of Philosophy, Dr. Nap Mabakyao, our university administrators, Vice President for Research and Innovation, Dr. Raymond Girard Tan, Vice President for External Relations and Internationalization, Dr. Anthony Chu, Director of the Research and Grants Management Office, Dr. Fiorelio Dimiterio, Chair of the DLSU Department of Philosophy, Dr. Mark Anthony Desela, to our esteemed mentors, colleagues, guests, staff, project and production team, and participants, a very warm and sunny good morning to you all, and welcome to De La Salle University's Zoom account. Yeah, unfortunately, I cannot welcome you to um, the actual De La Salle University. Today, we officially open phase one of Ethics, Society, and Education, empowering early career philosophers. While I am heartbroken that we are not together face to face, um, I'm glad that we are finally pushing through with the event. No, I must admit, we actually tempted fate, no, by scheduling the launch during the monsoon season. But we take what we can and we make the most of what we have. This does not mean, though, that we should not talk about how philosophy in the Philippines stands at a crucial turning point. As our society faces complex ethical dilemmas, technological shifts, structural transformations in education, the need for grounded, forward looking philosophical and ethical inquiry has never been more urgent. When we, Dr. Joaquin and Dr. Ockelman and I developed this proposal last year, it was against the backdrop of conversations surrounding the potential erosion and, in some spaces, outright eradication of the humanities and philosophy. As the professional learning community head of ethics in general education in DLSU, I felt a deep responsibility to remind our academic community of a fundamental truth, that pedagogical shifts and educational policies must be grounded in research and evidence based practice. Without returning to philosophy as our core framework, and without coming together to critically examine these educational movements and reforms we attempt will ultimately fall short. We also couldn't ignore the realities our young faculty face, juggling overwhelming administrative, teaching, and research loads, often without inspiring mentorship or dedicated spaces for collaboration. The struggle is personal to many of us. Without the LSU support through research fellowships and faculty development grants, I would never have had the privilege of connecting with amazing international thought leaders across Europe, Asia, Africa, and North and South America. To put this in perspective, I once had this seemingly wild idea to present at a conference at the University of the Faroe Islands. So, for those of you who don't know, no, the Faroe Islands are a tiny cluster of volcanic islands in the North Atlantic that world maps often accidentally leave off entirely. But thanks to institutional backing, I think our vice president is here. I was able to present my research in the Faroe Islands where I met wonderful scholars, including journal editor Philip Hayward, who subsequently invited me to collaborate and publish my paper. I've been fortunate to receive similar mentorship and inspiration through academic engagements in Bern, Switzerland, in Prague, and in Seoul National University, just to name a few. But the sad fact is that many of our early career scholars across the Philippines lack access to these opportunities. 3 years ago, when I served as the vice president of the Philosophical Association of the Philippines, our board shared a collective dream to build a sustainable research pipeline for philosophy that reaches every corner of Luzon, the Visayas, and Mindanao. We knew that if we could easily send all our young scholars abroad, or rather, if we couldn't easily send all our young scholars abroad, the next best thing was to bring world-renowned experts, editors, and mentors to directly, right here in the country. But reality hit hard. With limited funding, our gatherings were often sporadic, constrained by whatever themes host universities could afford or whatever research agendas were trending. Reflecting on the 2024 events that transpired, such as the World Congress of Philosophy in Rome, Italy, and when I visited the global headquarters of the De La Salle brothers in Italy, um, it actually inspired a collaborative vision with Brother Armin Luistro. Unfortunately, Brother cannot join us today, but he will be joining us tomorrow. So in that gathering, in that tiny meeting, we imagined a collective of LaSalle institutions that would come together to center discussions on the intersections of philosophy, education, and peace. While the logistical hurdles of surging airfares necessitated a pivot from that original blueprint, a new door opened when the British Academy issued its call for proposals for international writing workshops, which is supported by the UK government's International Science Partnerships Fund. We recognized an opportunity to reshape our goals into the project we are launching today. In many ways, the United Kingdom has been a steadfast partner to us throughout our scholarly journey, from our engagement with the British Embassy, Manila, when Ambassador Stephen Lilly welcomed us into his home as we held during 2012 the International Conference on Philosophy, Artificial Intelligence, and Cognitive Science. Our many efforts were funded by University of Birmingham on the Global Philosophy of Religion project, with the British Council's support and presence in this current initiative, and of course now through a partnership with Durham University and the British Academy's championing of humanities through this project. It was time to return to the root issues facing philosophy and humanities educators. As a discipline, philosophy has far too often been marginalized, with notions of interdisciplinarity or anti-disciplinarity at the expense of core philosophical rigor. We wanted to assert our discipline not as an afterthought, but as a vital lens through which we examine pressing social and educational issues through research. With our consultants who are here, our partners, we aim to leverage their expertise for authentic benchmarking, ensuring our work directly informs education policy making. Our rationale, therefore, is both simple and ambitious. Aside from getting together, despite the country's volatile climate, to create a space where emerging Filipino philosophers can refine research, build international networks, and amplify their academic voices in ethics and education. Now, to keep things engaging and based on my own research in media, which is practically hinged on binge watching Korean dramas on Netflix, we decided to tap into the competitive spirit of our scholars. Inspired by shows like Physical 100, Physical Asia, and Survivor, where contestants endure intense challenges until the only most resilient remain standing, we designed this research pipeline. We are starting today with nearly 100 philosophers. After phase 1, we will narrow the cohort to 50 for phase 2, 20 for phase 3, and finally 10 for phase 4. While we cannot offer a $2 million cash prize, the final 10 scholars standing will receive an all expense paid trip. Of course, no venue to be determined based on fuel prices, as a note, to workshop their final manuscripts for international publication. In true Lasallian fashion, we reward good work with more work, all in the pursuit of passion and excellence in research. But jokes aside, as one of our participants brilliantly dubbed this journey, welcome to Mental 100. We hope this model changes how academic workshops are designed in the country, starting with everyone submitting the refined abstracts after this phase to fight for a spot in phase two. And this is only the beginning. To ensure our reach is genuinely national, we have finalized MOUs and MOAs with partner institutions such as LaSalle Ozamis in Mindanao and Visayas State University in the Visayas, ensuring that every region is represented and supported long after this Luzon workshop ends. To ground this vision in practice, we have structured this workshop's design to reflect how research ought to function in our country today. Research that serves society by contributing to nation building, social development, and evidence based policy reform. Today, on day one, our sessions establish this foundation by examining research on nation building in SDG 4, humanities research for social development, and the impact of philosophical research in Philippine society. This afternoon, we expand into global ethics, the critical role of philosophy in shaping research and education policy, and writing for a global audience. Tomorrow, on day two, hopefully, face to face, we move directly from theory into the mechanics of execution, starting with the processing and reflections from day one, our keynote address on philosophy and peace, advancing to research conceptualization, craft and design, mastering grant applications and publishing, and tackling the practical challenges of research writing head on. Finally, we culminate in one-on-one bilateral consultations, a feature inspired by my experience at the Conference de Montreal. We are bringing this as another design innovation to our workshop. Think of it as an academic fan meet, except sadly, without BTS. Instead of collecting photo cards, you get exclusive, dedicated FaceTime with our senior scholars. Even with a long wait list for international mentors, they've kindly agreed to extend their availability so more scholars can meet and consult with them. As I end this long, winding rationale, I'd just like to point out that what makes this gathering special is its reach and diversity. We have brought together nearly 100 early career philosophies Filipino scholars from universities, colleges, seminaries, even basic ed institutions, research centers, all the way from Cagayan, Ilocos, La Union, Baguio, Benguet, Bataan, Nueva Vizcaya, Pampanga, Tarlac, Mindoro, Bicol, Cebu, and Dumaguete. Some of them are housed no around De La Salle University. No, they're already there no in Manila. And thank you so much for coming over. Whether you traveled across the islands or Metro, you're just in Metro Manila, your presence here proves that Philippine philosophy and the allied disciplines are alive, ready to brave the floods, and ready to lead. Over the next 2 days, I encourage you to engage deeply, debate boldly, support one another, and build lasting scholarly partnerships. May this workshop serve as a catalyst for meaningful and impactful research. Once again, welcome to De La Salle University's Zoom account. We wish everyone an empowering workshop. Animo, La Salle.